The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Wednesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you so you don't have to. We try to do the same here on this show. Every single day. And one of the ways we do that, of course, is our interviews that we feature on this show. Every day we try to follow Greenwood's lead, go the extra mile for you by showcasing the great people, players, and coaches of this community and beyond. Today we have a great conversation. We just like literally got off the interview about 10 minutes ago. So we didn't really have time to announce it or advertise it was going to be on the show. So I apologize for that. I always like to get who's going to be on the show out there before it happens, but this is kind of a last minute thing where we were nailing down the schedule, and then it got scheduled, and then boom, here it is. So we just got out of it about 10 minutes ago, so we didn't really have time to turn around a graphic real quick. But we are going to be featuring a conversation with the members of the Austintown 12U softball team that will be heading down to regionals next week to compete for a trip to the Little League World Series. We will have Matt Hamley, who was on that conversation, head coach of the 12U softball team. Annabelle Mikesell joined us. So did Mila Hamley and Marissa Polar as well. From that team. It was a great conversation with both the coach and the players about what they kind of expect from this week and hopefully the week after. How they handled the goals they set for themselves this year, 1 year after going down and winning regionals, getting the World Series last year, falling a little short, what kind of lessons they learned along the way. It's really cool to see them kind of doing the same thing that the varsity team did this year, because varsity went back-to-back state champions, and Austintown Fitch won state last year, won regionals last year, and regionals after state in Little League, unlike high school where regionals is before, but won state last year, won regionals last year, trying to do back-to-back. They've already got state check marked. They are the state champions, and they have back-to-back shirts already, just like the varsity does. So it's really cool to see what Austintown softball as a whole has been able to do the last couple of years. And it doesn't just go down to what the varsity team has been able to do. It trickles down like all great things do in great programs do with success. They trickle it down. Some programs that don't last a long time have their success at the highest level, but don't bring it to the lowest level. Don't trickle it down. Don't show any support to the people down there. They won't succeed. And then when they don't succeed, they don't really care if they keep succeeding in varsity. And we see that success fizzle in a program. But the programs that are consistently great, and there are a lot of them in the YSN family across a lot of different sports, you see all those programs trickle down their success into the youth of the organization. And they make sure that the kids down there know what it's like to succeed, know that the team that those kids look up to are there and supporting them. Saw Austintown softball players and coaches and almost every Austintown 12U game that was played over the last 2 weeks at Boardman Field of Dreams, they make sure that they know that it's not a separate entity. Like, we're Austintown varsity, your little league. We'll just go both do our separate things. Good luck to you. It's not that situation. We are all one Austintown softball, and we're all kind of fighting towards the same goal, which is the success of Austintown softball as a whole, not just the varsity. And once again, great programs do that. West Branch girls basketball, Walter Shields. You look at what they do in their youth programs. Really, really good. You look at South Rain football, the Little Raiders, and what they do with their football teams in the youth level. Really, really good. They're junior high football teams usually really, really good. You think about let's go through some other champion softball, of course. Same thing as Austintown's doing now, except they've been doing it for a long, long time with 9 state championships, feeding into the youth, making the young kids excited to be there. It's that kind of thing that makes these programs really, really good. South Range softball, same way. Canfield softball starting to do what Austintown do. Their 10U team, 1 state. Mike Kernan was at every game, cheering them on. A lot of players were at all the games. Feeding into the youth is what we like to see, and Austintown doing a great job of that. Just another example of really good programs. I didn't name every single one because it's just what was on the top of my head, but there are a lot of really good programs out there that are doing the exact same thing about building the program as a whole. And I think a lot of coaches, when you have success at the varsity level, they get so tied into their own varsity level that they forget that if you want that success to go past that class, that really talented class you might have, and it's helping you go and win regionals, get to state, maybe win a state. If you want the success to keep going, then you gotta feed into the next generation. And some coaches miss the ball on that, and that's why some programs don't last past 4 or 5 years of success. And as much as we've seen really, really good programs not fall into that trap, in the area and outside the area as well, in the state of Ohio, we've seen a lot of flashes in the pan. And I guarantee that when you look at what the differences is between the programs that stick around and the programs that don't, you're going to see almost consistent differences in how they run the youth organizations at the lower levels. And sometimes, I'll be honest, it's not the varsity coach's fault. Sometimes, you got to delegate, and the people you delegate to don't really execute what your mindset is. So I'm not putting it all on the varsity coaches out there that have missed the mark, or that their programs have missed the mark, or whatever you want to call it. It's not all on the coaches. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Sometimes you put people who you think will do the right thing in the positions they should, and they don't, and that's just a part of living and learning and trying to foster a program, right? So I think the other thing that people don't think about is when you are a varsity head coach, you are kind of in charge of not just the kids in high school, but you're in charge of the program. So you do have to delegate. You do have to put people in the right positions. You do have to not as much in softball. I don't, because there's not like a middle school softball program that's sanctioned by this school, but like for basketball and football and whatnot, like the varsity coach has a say in who's going to run the middle school program feeding into the varsity, right? So you're in charge of all that as much as you are the high school kids, and you gotta try to make the right decisions with that. But back to the main point, and what Austintown is doing so well right now is feeding into the youth, and these kids coming up, they're going to keep making Austintown really, really good at softball. And I am pretty dang confident of that. When I watch them play, I watch the way they carry themselves. I watch the energy they bring to the softball diamond. I watch the work ethic they bring just in what they're talking about, like how good they want to be and how good they don't believe that they are yet. Like, they are confident, which is awesome, but they don't cross that line of confidence to complacency, which can happen in a lot of these kids that are, 13 to 14, 15 years old, and 12 can be in there too, when they're dominating everyone that they step across, because other 12, 13, 14, 15 year olds aren't on that level yet. You do see players get kind of complacent. Well, okay, I'm good, man. I'm scoring 30 points a game in this basketball against seventh graders. I'm going to be fine, right? And then all of a sudden you get to varsity and you're playing 18-year-olds and you're like, I'm not scoring 30 anymore. I'm scoring like 10 maybe on a good night, right? And then all that hype and complacency turns into lack of confidence and gassing out, and you lose that love for the sport. So I think these girls in 12U softball are really, really good at not crossing that line. They are very confident in themselves. They know what they are good at, and they execute what they're good at really, really well. And they have all the confidence in the world, but they don't cross that line of complacency. Like, they understand, like, okay, but there are things I need to get better at. There are things I want to get better at. I do have goals on things to do more of. And they keep working towards those goals, which is what it takes to continually be better and get yourself ready to play at the next levels. Whether you're talking about going from high school to college, whether you're talking about going to little league to, the juniors with the 13Us and the 14Us, whether you're talking about going to that to varsity, whatever level you're taking the next step in, you have to realize really quickly that you're not where you are ready for that step, and you have to constantly put in work to get yourself ready. That is the biggest advice I ever give to players that are going from high school to college, whatever sport they're playing. I tell them, like, and you'll hear this in the interviews that I do with these softball players in the Living the Dream segments that we've been doing throughout the last couple of weeks. They'll all tell you, like, when I stepped onto the college field, I learned very quickly how much I thought I was doing right that wasn't necessarily right on that level. Like, it worked in high school, it's not going to work in college. So I have to make the adjustments that these coaches are going to tell me to make. You're hitting 700 in high school, you're not going to hit 700 in college, because they're going to point out, hey, this is wrong with your swing, and we have to work on this and this and this. And the details get magnified so much when you start to step into the next level, especially college, because they have the technology to really break down your swing and find all the things that you need to do better in it. Or if you're a pitcher, break down your mechanics and say, hey, you're not doing this quite right. You're not doing this quite right. We need this velocity to go up. We need the spin rate to go up. Things like that you're going to be told by your new coaching staff in college. And for a minute, like, these softball players will tell you, it will make you feel like you're starting over. That's how some of them described it. Like, hey, I thought I was good. I thought you recruited me because I was good. And it makes you feel like crap. I'm not good. But when you get past that and you realize that you are good, you just can get better. Everyone can get better. That's when you make the big strides and you become an impact on the team. And I think this 12U team, back to this full circle moment, getting back on track to what I'm talking about, because I go on tangents. This 12U team, when I'm seeing what they do and I talk to some of these players, I realize pretty quickly that they realize themselves that there's always room to improve and get better while they keep their confidence intact as well. And that's a very hard line to toe when you're younger. It's very hard to toe the line of being confident in your abilities, going up there, knowing you're going to get things done, while also realizing that, you don't walk on water, and there are things that you have to be able to do better, and things you have to work on, improve on, and keep getting better at. And I think all these girls really understand that fine line and toe it pretty well. Talking to them, watching them play, it's been a treat for the districts and states. And they're moving on to the regionals next week as well. And once again, we have the conversation with those girls and Matt Hamley that we're going to play on this show. We're going to take a commercial break first. We're going to hear from our sponsors like we do every day, pay some bills. But when we come back, we'll have that conversation for you with the Austintown 12U softball team on Running Point, brought to you as always by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet that you just heard from in that commercial break. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. We're going to continue to do that today with a conversation with Austintown 12U softball. In this interview, you're going to hear from Matt Hamley, the head coach. You're going to hear from Annabelle Mikesell, Mila Hamley, and Marissa Polar from the team as well. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation and enjoy supporting the Austintown 12U softball team. Anthony Harwig here with a very special, I guess we could call it Coach's Corner / Player Profile. We are joined once again another year with the Austintown 12U softball team. First and foremost, we're joined by their head coach, Matt Hamley. Coach, thank you and the players that we have here today for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So like I said, here we are again. It's kind of like an annual thing with you guys. You won state again. We had you on through this journey last year through regionals and all the way to the World Series last year. Talk about what it's like to kind of start over this year and back to districts and trying to get through, this point now and what it's been like to try to make another run at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to try to follow up what we did last year. Rolling into this season, I knew we had a strong core coming back. 7 of the girls were returning, and we had some strong players coming up that were a little younger. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to get back to the World Series. I knew we would have a tough district tournament to get through first, and then obviously the state tournament. But I knew we would have we had a chance to get back to the Central Region tournament, which we just accomplished. Hoping we do well there and we could ultimately get back to the World Series to try to go a little further this year.
Looking at the scores from all these games you guys have had, it seems like the biggest test was just that first game, getting out there with the team for the first time. 3-0 Boardman, but then since everything else, it's been kind of, I don't want to say smooth sailing because every game presents its own challenges, but it seems like you guys have gotten better and better since that first game. Talk about the growth that you've seen from this team from the first game in districts to now after the state championship.
Yeah. Our team going into the district tournament this year, each town had a really good pitcher on their staff that could shut an opposing team down, with Boardman, Poland, and Howland as well. So when we went into the district tournament, I was a little worried about how our offense would produce, to be honest with you. And we came out in that first game and we didn't put up a ton of runs, but we put the bat on the ball and we did enough to win that game. After that, we got the offense rolling a little more, and these girls have been on fire ever since. Obviously, it helps if we could manufacture runs, whether it's bunting or drawing walks or getting timely hits. And if we get a few runs in any game, we're going to be in good shape. Our defense is solid behind our pitchers, and our pitchers have done a great job so far this year. The defense hasn't had to work too hard yet, but it will happen here, I'm sure, in the Central Region tournament. So they'll be ready to go. And hopefully our offense keeps producing, and we should be in pretty good shape.
You brought up your pitchers, and they have been doing a really good job for you. What kind of pressure does that take off of your offensive lineup, knowing that they don't have to go out and score, 8 to 10 runs to win a game? You can score 3 or 4 and feel like you're in a pretty good position.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a luxury to have pitchers that are able to shut other teams down for the most part, and just hold them to a couple runs if anything. Honestly, our offense kind of takes the pressure off of me, and then that allows our pitchers to work, and if they walk somebody or if they give up a hit, it's not as big of a deal. But in those tight games where it's 0-0 going into the 4th, 5th inning, every single pitch matters. Every pitch call matters, and if somebody gets walked or gets on base, the pressure is put on us a little more. So when our offense is able to go out there and just scratch a few runs, everybody's able to breathe easier a little bit, and everybody gets to play a little looser.
When we're talking about this offense, a great core of returning players that were in this level last year, went to the World Series, and it's a deep lineup. Every time that we come and do a game, it seems like it's a different person coming up with the big hits in the game. I mean, in the state championship, it was Severn that came up with the big hit, Peyton Severn, and then every time it's a different player. What's it like for a coach to have such a deep lineup on your team and be able to trust everyone 1 through 12 to go out there and get it done in a big situation?
Yeah, it's great to be honest with you, going into this year, I wasn't sure how we were going to hit overall as a team. The nice thing with Game Changer and keeping track of stats last year, some of our returning players that we have this year weren't our best hitters last year. So coming into this year, I wasn't sure how the offense would go. But those returners have absolutely carried the torch this year, and they are our strongest hitters now this year, which is great to see. And then the 5 girls that have joined the team this year have all done their jobs as well, and have been able to produce at the plate. At different times, whether it's getting walked or driving in runs, like you said, and it's a different player every time. So 1 through 12, all of the girls can put the ball in play or put a bunt down or whatever we need them to do at that time, and that's a big deal, and that's hopefully what will set us apart. Our lineup top to bottom, and then our pitching and defense.
When you talk about those 5 new players that stepped on this field for the first time with you guys, it can be a kind of a daunting task to step on a team that went to the World Series last year and has those lofty goals to get right back to it. What have you seen from those girls to kind of step into this atmosphere, not be fazed by the goals that you guys have, and as you say, just do their job and produce the way you need them to?
Yeah, so with the 5 girls that have rejoined our team this year, a handful of them were, I would say, three of the 5 were on our state championship team 2 years ago. So it's kind of like a every other year type of thing for a few of the girls, just because of the birth years. So one of them being Marissa Polder, who's our catcher now, and she caught for us 2 years ago. She steps right in and does a phenomenal job behind the plate, catching Mila and Annabelle. And she's an offensive threat as well. Peyton Severn has joined our team again. She was on the state team as well a couple years ago, and she's a little peanut, but she can put the ball in play. She's been around softball her whole life with her sister, obviously winning a couple state championships up in high school. So she's been around the game a long time. Lily Sheffield joined our team this year. She has not been with us in the past, and she's another great utility player that can step in and catch for us, play second base. She can play the outfield. Really anywhere on the field I need to put her, she can go there. And then also offensively, she can put the ball in play, bunting, hitting, whatever we need. And then also we have Kendra Lake, who is a part of our state team, and she's extremely athletic, fast kid. She gets on the bases. She's going to be a problem. And then defensively, she does a great job in the outfield. She's made a handful of catches for us. And Kendra is somebody that has worked a ton on hitting over the past year with her hitting coach, Bob Smith. And she's really turned the corner from last year to this year, and her hard work's showing off. And then our last girl that has joined the team this year, her name's Emily Beelan. She does a great job in the outfield. She can track balls. And she's a kid that doesn't have travel ball experience, but great attitude, great in the outfield. And at the plate, she just recently started slapping to honestly during the state tournament, and she's been able to put the ball in play from the left side, which creates some issues for the defense. So I'm just looking forward to seeing them keep progressing and getting stronger every time they step out on the field.
You as a coach went through all this last year. You went through, getting your team ready for regionals and winning regionals, going to the World Series. What lessons did you learn on how to manage all that as a coach that you're hoping that you can lean on this year in regionals? And then hopefully you're fortunate enough to get the World Series and to be able to lean on that experience again. What kind of lessons did you learn last year that you're going to be leaning on in this year?
Yeah, last year was it was a whirlwind, to be honest with you, from the moment we won state, with the state tournament being down in Ironton, and then just the crazy travel. We went from there to Ocean City for travel ball nationals, and then to the Central Region tournament, then to the World Series. Everything happened so fast, and obviously none of us have ever been there before, so we were just learning as we went on last year. And then obviously losing our first game at the Central Region tournament last year was not ideal. But then, I wouldn't have had it any other way, with the outcome that we had, obviously, with the girls being able to bounce back and fight their way back all the way to the championship game last year. With every game that we played from the first day being an elimination game for us, it brought tons of experience, and the pressure was on these girls, and they handled it very well. Obviously, as a coach and the coaching staff and the players themselves going through the Central Region tournament, winning, game after game, playing on ESPN Plus and then on ESPN at times, that's a big deal. So I'm hoping this year that all those experiences that they've gone through, making it all the way to the World Series, I'm hoping that carries them this year. And the younger ones that are with us now and the new families, we're able to give them advice, and we've been there before, so everything's not as shocking. Like we know exactly what to expect rolling into the tournament, the hotel stay and everything that comes with it, because it's a crazy process. It's amazing, and just overall for us to be back there and having the experience from last year, I'm really hoping that guides us this year and takes us through.
All right, now you have the back-to-back state shirt on. High school had one too this year. They got the back-to-back state championships. I want to know how much of an inspiration and a drive and motivation it was to see the Austintown Fitch varsity team do what they did, go back-to-back, and then you guys had a chance to do it as well.
Yeah, so from top to bottom, from the little league ages, even not our younger than us, the 10U, the 8U, all the way up to obviously the high school team. Austintown is loaded with softball talent, and not just Austintown. Our entire area is filled with some of the best softball players and teams in the state, and not only the state. I feel like some of the best softball players in the country are right here, and I will argue with anybody on that. Obviously, our younger girls are girls that play on our team, have had a ton of success through little league stuff, and this was actually our third state championship in a row, because we won back in 10U. So these girls have done it 3 times in a row now, and watching the high school girls get their first one last year was absolutely amazing. And then for them to reload and maybe even come back stronger this year, for them to repeat that process was amazing. And the players on the high school team, the coaching staff, they've all been extremely supportive of us as coaches, our players, our families, everything. Anytime we're playing and they know that they come around, they're in the dugout saying hello, wishing the girls good luck, on social media, shouting them out, whatever it is. So obviously we want to just continue to carry the tradition, and the standards are high. And as far as Austintown softball goes, it's extremely competitive, and it's going to be that way from the time these kids step on the field at 8U all the way till high school. These kids are going to have to push each other and just keep getting better and better.
All right, Coach, we want to transition into talking to some of the players that have to put in the time and the superstars of this team. I know you have a couple next to you, and we also have Marissa Polder joining us as well. Girls, one, thank you all for joining us. We have Annabelle Mikesell and Mila Hamley from your left to right, and then Marissa Polder down there below us. Girls, thank you so much for taking the time and hopping on with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so this is for all three of you, and you can answer it in whatever order you want, but what's it like to kind of be on this stage again and to be able to win another state championship and be able to prepare for another regional tournament?
It's very exciting to be here again, because we get another chance, and we get another chance to be better than we were last year and just go farther than we did.
I think it's really cool and awesome to be able to play again. It's just so exciting.
And Marissa, I know you weren't a part of the team last year, but Matt Hamley talking about how you were a part of the state championship team 2 years ago. So you've been a part of winning and this winning culture. So what's it like for you to come out and be a part of this regional tournament for the first time?
I'm really excited to be with this team again. So
we all play great together, and they're all incredible.
What was it like for you guys to go through this state tournament and the district tournament and having the goal of winning it, but also trying to take it one game at a time and not letting that goal of winning a state again get too far in advance, especially when you're in districts?
I'm excited to be with this team, and I hope we go far in regionals and do better. And
Annabelle, Mila, what about you guys? What was it like going through the districts and state with the goal in mind that you definitely wanted to go and win state, but also trying to take it that one game at a time and take care of business every time you stepped out on the field?
It was very exciting, but we never wanted to get too ahead of ourselves because anything can happen. You play the game for a reason, so it was excited, but we never wanted to be like, oh, we got this, or it's in the bag already before we even played the game.
Yeah, I think it's definitely so fun to be able to play new teams and be able to see what the competition is like, and just so fun to do.
Annabelle, Mila, I asked Coach what lessons he learned from last year's run to the World Series and going through all that. What lessons did you guys learn that you're going to lean on in this regional tournament from playing in it last year?
We have to play as a team. You have to play as a team if you want to win, because we need to play as a team, and we have to have good attitudes and all be on the same page with each other. We all have to be playing for each other. We can't just be playing for ourselves.
I think it's really important to keep it one game at a time and be able to play as a team and lots of communication.
Marissa, from your point of view, what's the mindset this week? What are you trying to focus on preparing for this regional tournament, and how excited are you to kind of get down there and be a part of it?
I'm very excited. It seems like a very fun tournament to be a part of, and I'm making sure that I'm the best catcher I could possibly be and help out our offense.
And talking about catching, you get to catch one of the best pitchers that's going to be in the region. I know a lot of people were talking about her last year, and she amazed the ESPN announcer, Kenzie Fowler, who we had come on talk on YSN, spoke so highly of her. Marissa, what's it like to be able to catch someone like Mila and to be able to kind of work through a game plan with her and work with her through a game?
Mila's incredible. She's a really good pitcher, and I love working with her. And we work together in the winter, at our pitching lessons to get ready for now. So.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you both, and Mila can answer this first, but to be able to have a catcher that's with you through winter pitching lessons and to be able to work with her throughout the whole winter and then get to work with her throughout the whole summer, what's it like to have a catcher that you can have such a strong relationship with and a bond with out there on the field?
I think it's so important to have a good catcher-pitcher bond because we'll be together so much, and it's just so important.
And then Marissa, same question for you from your perspective. What's it been like to build that bond and relationship with Mila from your end?
I love having a good bond with her and talking with her and stuff, and it's really fun catching her.
All right, so we talked about, the goals that you guys have had, and obviously the goal is to get back to the World Series. And I want to talk about some goals that you guys also have in the big picture. You're starting to get to the age where you're preparing for, getting to the older levels and starting on the varsity teams in high school in a couple of years. We all know that. What kind of goals are you guys setting to keep getting better and bettering yourselves as softball players as the years go on?
Just to get faster and stronger in everything that I do. In pitching, I want to get faster, but I also want to focus on how I field the ball at third base and my transitions and getting those quicker. And when I play the outfield too, just being strong and quick and getting the ball and knowing what I'm doing. Advancing my softball knowledge will advance my play too, and being confident in myself, because if you want to do good, you have to be confident in yourself.
I'm really just trying to work on my pitching, but also working on offense and being able to hit the ball, as well as playing different positions when I'm not pitching, like first base and sometimes third base.
I want to work on my catching and my hitting, especially, and anywhere I could play in the field, second or shortstop.
Coach Hamley was talking about how the varsity girls are so supportive, and the coaching staff and the players that have been a part of back-to-back state championships at the high school level. From the players' perspective, what's it like to have the support of the varsity members and to know that the players that you look up to and the players that you want to be like when you get to that level are there for you guys, they're in the dugouts, they're at the game supporting you?
It feels good to know that they're all there for us and like we have their support in everything that we do, because it's always good to have support and feel like you could lean on something, or like another team, not another team, but like the older girls, because they're so good at everything that they do, and it's fun to know that they're there supporting you.
I think it's such a great feeling to know that we have a whole community behind us who we look up to.
I think it's a great feeling to have that whole team watching us and supporting us, because they're such a great team and they do everything really good.
I think one of the coolest part of the regionals is that you still get to wear the Austintown jerseys and wear Austintown across your chest and represent that community. How proud are you that you get to go down there and you get to represent Austintown, Ohio, and you get to represent all the people that have been supporting you through the local districts in the state, and you get to kind of shine a light on how Austintown does things?
It's very exciting because we get to still wear the jersey, and it's just we want to win so we could prove to them that like we know that they're there for us, even though not everyone that usually can go to like the state this year because it was in Boardman and the districts. We like to prove to them that they were there for us, and we are grateful that they're always there for us and supporting us.
I love that we're able to stick to our original uniforms and just play as the same team that we were, even though it's just a different team.
I love wearing like the Austintown jersey because everyone's so good on both teams, on this 12U team, 10U team, and high school and stuff.
All right, we have asked every softball player that we've interviewed this year these questions, so we're gonna hit you guys with them too. First, I want dugout snacks. If you guys could have one dugout snack for the rest of your career, and that's all you could have, like this is it, what dugout snack are you choosing?
Oh, high chews. I love high chews.
I'm gonna say Jolly Ranchers.
And probably just like gum or seeds or anything. So.
Gum. Okay, we have the Jolly Ranchers, Mila. What's the favorite color?
Watermelon.
Watermelon. And then for gum, do you have like a favorite flavor of gum?
Probably just like Big League Chew or something, just like the regular flavor stuff.
And then you said seeds too. They come in a lot of different flavors. Do you have a favorite flavor of seeds?
Probably like ranch or like taco seeds.
While we're on the subject of food, because we're all hungry, it's about lunchtime. What's the best post game meal? You know, you guys just get a big win and you want to go celebrate. Where's the go-to place for you guys?
I mean, we usually go to Mexican, but like if I got to pick, I'd pick somewhere with sushi.
Either Mexican because it's quick, or Berry Dingles because their food is really good.
Yeah, I like Berry Dingles too, and Mexican usually.
Annabelle's like, I want sushi. And I think all you guys are happy that she doesn't get to pick where you guys go because you guys didn't pick sushi. Let's talk about some of the things that you guys like to do outside of softball. Do you have other hobbies, other things that interest you that kind of take your mind off the sport at times when it becomes a little bit too much?
Well, I play volleyball too, and I like to read, and I like to ice skate.
Yes, I love ice skating and reading.
I like to read and hang out with my friends and go shopping.
I want to talk about ice skating. That's not something I've heard in all the softball players I've asked that. How did you two get into ice skating, and what's it like to have that as a hobby?
We got into it because we had, I don't know, I think she just got ice skates for Christmas one time, and then we went together, so then we just kind of got into it. It's fun.
Yes. We used to go every Friday night. Yeah.
Coach, do you hold your breath when they ice skate? That's kind of a dangerous sport. You're sitting there like, oh.
Oh yeah, a little bit. They're trying to practice their jumps and turns, but it's good. It's like you said, it's something different for them to get their mind off. Softball. They play softball literally year round, 5-6 days a week. So it became a routine this past winter where they would go ice skating literally like every Friday, sometimes Saturday, Sunday. But it's something different. And it reminds me of like my childhood, and a lot of us would go to the skate zone back in the day. So for them, ice skating, they liked it. It was something different. Go hang out away from softball. So
I want you to each to talk about some role models that you have in the sport, whether it be maybe players in the national stage, or it could be players that played for the high school team, whatever it may be. Who are some players that you look up to and you try to take as much as you can from watching the way they play softball?
Um, on the high school team, I really like Kylie Folkline. She's such an amazing player, and I know she's a catcher, but she's just so good at everything she does. And I just love everyone on that team. I don't know everyone personally, but I just love everyone on that team. I look up to all of them. Yeah.
I look up to Kayliana because she's actually the reason that I started pitching in the first place.
I look up to Ayla Ray because she has such a big bat and she's really good at everything she does.
I think everyone in the Austintown community is thanking Kayliana for getting Mila involved in pitching right now. So my last question for you guys, and this is something that we also do with all the players we interview. I want to give each of you the chance to kind of shout out your support system, the people that are in your corner that you wouldn't be where you are in your journey without. You have as much time as you want to kind of give those shout outs out and thank the people that, like I said, that are in your life supporting you.
Definitely my mom and dad, my coach Matt Hamley, and my private coaches, Kerrigan Yannick and Madison Yannick, and my travel coach Alicia Perry and Ashley Yannick. Those people, they help me a lot. I wouldn't be here without them.
I'd say my mom and dad, my coach, and my pitching and hitting coach, Bob.
I would say my mom and dad and my travel coaches.
All right, girls, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck as you head to regionals and try to get yourselves into another World Series. We're going to be watching and supporting you from over here in the Ysn area. So thank you again for your time, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you.
You got it. You got it, Coach. That was the Austintown 12U softball team, or at least members of the 12U softball team. Matt Hamley, the head coach, Annabelle Mikesell, Mila Hamley, and Marissa Polar all joining me in the interview that talking about the team and the goals they have and what it's like getting ready for regionals in this upcoming week. And what a great conversation that was. If you missed it and want to see it in its entirety, it will be up on YouTube very, very shortly and also on our website as well. So be sure to stay tuned for that. That will do it for today's episode of Running Point. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today to this show. I want to thank Matt Hamley and the girls that came on for their time and giving us their time. We want to thank them for that. And we will see you tomorrow for another episode 1 to 2 on Running Point, brought to you as always by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.